Welcome back once again, Real People, Real Life, Wichita, Kansas.
America.
You know, and one of the things, too, about being right here in the middle of America and the heartbeat of it all is a lot of things do happen here, you know, and I think it's because we do have so many great people here that we can take horrible things that are happening and we can make them a better thing, which sounds really hard in a situation like yours right now. How in the world could anybody take a devastating situation like this and try to
Bring change
and bring betterment? And I think that, thank God, you know, we have Chip here with Midwest Battle Buddies, because your organization does just this. You take horrible, sad situations, and you have been able, with the things that you do, to turn these situations around in such a way that are absolutely phenomenal, and you help so many people. Tell us, oh, we have puppies everywhere. Oh, we have a puppy, wait, okay, sorry, there's like puppies everywhere. Okay, tell me, Chip, I know we've got 50 things going on here, and puppies everywhere. What do you have to say about this situation, if you want to start there, or do you want to get straight into the services and how you're going to be helping?
Well, first off, I just want to say how sorry I am to Ellen. I mean, that's a horrible thing. I can't imagine. I've been a dog person, and I've lost dogs. That's just, especially under the circumstances, that's a horrible thing. And I appreciate you giving us the opportunity that when you're ready to help you get another service dog. That means a lot to us. We work real hard to try and take care of these things. Ken is here. He's one of our veteran service dog teams, and he can speak for how much it's meant to him. And Tammy is our trainer. She's sitting over here. So with that said, when you're ready, we want to get you on the program. We want to try and use this, as we spoke last night, as a catalyst for change in the laws and the protection for the people and their service dogs. It's really, there is no good standard out there for service dogs.
Correct.
You can go online for $50, $60. You can buy a vest. You can buy a card. And there's nobody who's going to stop you from using that dog as a service dog.
Can I ask you something about that? Now, that's called an emotional support dog. You can go on at $64. You get a certificate. But that requires no training. I mean, you have to click yes that your dog can pass the ADA 12 whatever commands. But, I mean, what exactly is that as far as, like, legally? Is that...
Well, really, number one, there is no cop watching over this. The Department of Justice has put it on an honor system.
Correct.
Because it's overwhelming. They don't have the manpower, the resources to watch all these people, all these trainers, everybody else, check all these service dogs. And if you read the ADA at the bottom, one of the last thing it says is you're perfectly legal for you to train your own dog.
Correct.
And you don't have to go get it through a test or a certification or anything. And there are a whole lot of bad dogs out there that cause a lot of problems. And they lead, things escalate, and it leads to things like what we're talking about today. Because people have all these, you know, there's no way of anybody knowing that Midnight was actually legitimate. You know, they don't know that. They don't know. And there's a whole lot of bad ones. Ken can speak for, he has a lot of trouble taking Keno into places because of all the dogs that act out.
Right.
I've had problems at the commissary, at the VA, and then, you know, you get these guys that call them service dogs, you know, and they have them in their little purses or whatever.
Well, yeah,
but yet when they take them out, they're jumping on people's legs, they're jumping on the table, they're all over everywhere. I mean, if you see my dog, he's actually well controlled. He'll actually sit there.
Keno's awesome.
The dog that actually runs all over your place, you know, and jumping at people, on people in their lap. And, you know, I've had people question me, is that actually a real service dog?
Really?
Oh, yeah, and then I pop out, you know, I have my certificate actually on my phone. I took a picture of it, and I have his
smart.
ID card.
Yeah.
You know, so if I get questioned, I got all the proof right there.
So we have people that essentially try to abuse that system by just carrying any kind of dog.
Oh, yeah.
Service
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
There are
legitimately
probably more illegitimate service dogs than there are legitimate ones.
Because
in my opinion. I don't have a number on that, but...
Because you can, if they don't go on a leash and you just carry them, it lessens the requirements for that emotional support certificate also.
Sure.
And so, like, if they're going to be, because they're just emotional support, but that is not a service or therapy dog.
I've actually talked to business owners and stuff, You know, and they're actually kind of scared to even kind of question some people because they're afraid that they're going to get sued.
Right.
You know, it's like, when I keep telling them, it's like, you know, if this dog is out of control, you have every right to kick that dog and the owner out.
There is a law that protects them. You cannot even ask them if they're actually a service dog.
I'm saying if the dog is out of control, you know,
if it acts out in any way, you can ask that dog to be removed.
Correct.
The dog
the
is in a
owner
store,
can say that the dog is having a reaction to them, and I know this. Even if it's a ridiculous behavior from the dog, that a person is suing Quick Trip right now because their dog was completely out of control, and they asked them to remove the dog.
But the dog is hiking their leg on the food, or jumping onto the counters, or even sniffing
It was
and
jumping
biting.
on the
counters. That's what I'm saying. If they are doing that, they have every right to get that dog out of there and say, you need to get your dog out of here. You could come back. But
and that's in ADA and Department of Justice. But just the fact of what you're saying, that this person is being sued,
they are actually going
this is stupidity. Mm-hmm. These laws need to change, and somebody needs to be governing what is happening.
Exactly, because people are using it as almost like, I'm going to take this horribly disruptive dog, but
anywhere I want to go, and try and stop me.
As soon as they say anything, I want to sue them.
Yeah.
You know, and so, like I said, I mean, it needs it does need regulation, and it needs clarity, because emotional support is not service trained or therapy.
Right.
So what we have, basically, I mean, I'm sorry to throw in here, it seems to me like what we have once again is, just like we talked about earlier with some of the food trucks and different things, you have phenomenal things going on, good things going on, and good people doing good things, like you, okay, where you are teaming with that veteran and you're teaming with the appropriate dogs that have already passed from your trainer point of view, that dog would be a quality candidate to become a service dog. You're checking out the availability of that dog moving forward from the very get-go, correct?
Right.
Okay. And so then what we have is, you guys have done this phenomenal thing. I've talked to you, I've interviewed you before, I've interviewed other veterans before, so I do know that this works. This does work for veterans, and it is very, very important that veterans and other people that need a service dog can get one and professionally get one. I don't want to see all the good things that have happened with your organization, with organizations like yours, and with quality, good trainers like the one that you have. I don't want to see any of this go away. What I would love to see is, and we've fought this before, that this is not the first time that a veteran has had their dog hurt, attacked, and in the worst case scenarios, killed, because officers did not know that dog was supposed to have been a service dog. Is that not right? In some cases, maybe they did know, but they just, I don't know.
Okay.
You know, but if we get back to there's a problem. There is a problem, and this is a problem. You've got people saying that they have service dogs when, in fact, maybe they don't even realize that they don't. Can I ask you, Alan, did you know the different legalities? Did you know the different terminology? Did you know the different types of training for Midnight when you took Midnight to get trained? Did you know all those different things?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I did an extensive research on it because, like I said, I did get him as a dog sitting type thing. In the beginning of last year, Angie, the property owner, was trying to evict me because I, for one, had a German Shepherd, and two, a dog over 20 pounds, which clearly is in the lease that is not authorized. And then she told me, well, you need to get rid of this dog or else you need to evict.
Right.
And at that time, having him from November till January, I had already grown attached to him and had even forgot about that time that he was the previous owner was supposed to come back. And so I was like, what am I going to do? So I went online, did my own research. Yes, first of all, I did get that $79 whatever emotional support animal, and that was only to cover me until I could get him trained as my service dog, because of the fact that does take a longer time.
Right, it does.
It's a process.
It is. And the emotional support animal, I went on there, this covers him in housing, and this covers him if I have to fly on an airplane. Nothing else.
Okay.
The emotional support?
That's all.
Okay.
The service dog and a service dog can only be a dog. An emotional support animal can be anything from a kangaroo to a snake.
Correct.
Anything that you think that is giving you emotional support, and that goes too with therapy. The therapy dog or whatever animal doesn't have to be certified. The service dog has to be certified, and it is covered underneath all
Insurance.
ADA regulations,
Oh.
whereas the others are not. So yes, I do know the differences. And when he did get trained finally, this whole process of her going throughout all of last year trying to evict me up until the final court date in December, I was told 2 days before the court by my attorney, don't worry about going to court. And I'm like, oh, gee, now what? He said they dropped the charges.
Okay.
So, for whatever reason.
So at that point, the dog became an authorized animal of the park, because that's a part of the problem. That's probably why they went to the management first to see if there's been any, incidents, and if it was an authorized dog, if they knew about this dog. Okay, so once they dropped those charges, that means they accepted that animal as a registered, authorized to that park dog. Okay, so that was something I was questioning, whether or not it was considered an authorized animal. Okay.
So go back to the training for just a minute. Wait, okay. I
have a question. Okay, a lot of people go out there and they find an animal that they decide they want to make a service or therapy or one of those two dog. Okay, most service dogs and therapy dogs come into programs like what you have. And then you guys train them, and then you find an owner for them. Is that how it goes?
That's not the way we do things.
No.
We do things different. A lot of places are like that. Usually you go for a 2-week program, and they introduce you to the dog, do some work, and off you go. There's your service dog. We spend a lot of time matching dog to person and the person's need. Part of our application process is, what do you need help with?
Right.
I mean, if, like Hank here is a big dog. He's got his handler is a big man, and we're teaching him. He's got a lot of mobility issues, so he's taught to brace and do different things to help him get around, to give him some of his life back.
Oh, yeah.
So, that's the way we do things. And there's a heavy assessment to begin with.
Right.
The dogs could show no aggression at all. Calm, confident. They can't even, it's a dog, and they can't chase cats.
Yeah.
That washes them.
Yep.
Any kind of... anything like that. And Tammy, some of the guys do bring their dogs. Ken brought Keno to us, and it starts with an assessment of the dog to make sure the dog can do the work and is going to be able to do the service work and be able to avoid all those things. You can't have one of our veterans walking down the street and have a cat cross, and then our veterans bouncing down the street. That just is not going to work.
Right.
I've seen
So
some,
we are very cautious.
Right. And one quick thing too. I've seen some of your dogs that you guys have been training at Town East. And one of the final tests was you literally put crumbled bacon in a bowl, like 3 feet at that, from this dog, and the dog's just like, it's just bacon.
Yeah,
I'm like, whoa.
I think it's more like, that's not mine.
That's unbelievable training.
I'll actually have sitting, in a sit position. I'll put the bacon right there in front of his face and he'll look at it like
Keno's better than I am when it comes
these-
to a bowl of bacon. I'd be like,
I have that problem too. I eat the bacon.
I would be like,
But these dogs are in your program, and you train them, right? And then you find
We
the
will start
owner.
them. We start them.
Yeah.
We will get them to the point that, the house training, things like that are all done, basic obedience.
And then you find a match for them.
We will find a match. Actually, we don't look for the dog till we talk to the veteran and see what the needs are going to be, because we have to size the dog and see what it's going to have to be able to do. And then we will start picking the dog.
We're going to come
So
right
it's
back
a
with your
rigorous
trainer.
process. We'll get to
Yeah,
that.
we're going to come right back with your trainer and get in some more details on how we can figure this out and find solutions. We'll be right back. Real People, Real Life, Wichita, Kansas.
America.
America.